filter set of 3 ya sotale le filter mi yalon ko asidiyota aya tenteng natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankan be bije sa be bon filter fana member ko 12 inch set of 3 filter mi yalon ko asidiyota aya dada aya senandi mense beta alla jata kende ato fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalon ko asi chemical o bonnino jiol kono le mense beta alla jata kende ya filter member ko CTO block carbon mensi jiola chemical o be bondi akono pour kala jata kende ya sahen nim filter sabol be kili wo kili na pansundoku na wata tankol fana sotale kabirim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fana be mol bulle alsemol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala isimol kumandi 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia banko.
Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. We are broadcasting in our studios along the Kairaba Avenue. And welcome to This Morning. And to all our viewers out there, thank you very much. We've been receiving a lot of messages that most people are following this program. And I'm with my colleague in the studio, Eso Nyasi. Welcome to This Morning.
Good morning, and thank you. I mean, it's always a pleasure to be here. And good morning to the viewers out there as well.
Man, you're looking good. I mean, who does this thing?
Boy, Jalwali Mr. Mboj la. So
wow, so Lola, Mr. Mboj mune.
That very swag.
Wow, mune boy. Hamga lo wara def. Mane ko wow, mune danga war di kufang. Mr. Mboj mune ñun nañoo kufang.
Boy bañul la.
Ñun ay xale Mr. Mboj lañ, so fok mo le fe. So it's going to be very interesting today in the studio because we'll be having our own Mr. Mboj who will be going through the newspaper review with us. But coming up on the program, we'll have the African proverb and of course the newspaper review with Mr. Momodu Mboj. And we'll also do a video call with Jenna Basonko, the COP26 Climate Change Conference currently in Edinburgh, UK. And of course, we'll also have Momodu Esba, President of the Gambia Press Union with us. We'll be discussing media ethics and responsible reporting in elections. As you know, December 4th is fast approaching, less than a month now to elections. And we'll also connect Momodu Gajaga right now in Dubai. And he will also take us through on the women volleyball training. And we'll have Skengman on the click segment. And of course, Momodu Gajaga will be here to enlighten us on all the things that are happening currently in Dubai. And we'll also take a look at the African proverb, Eso. What do we have there?
Yes, so our proverb this morning says, when the shepherd comes home in peace, the milk is sweet. I know fooders like talking about milk. So my understanding is, when you work so hard to achieve something, you know, and then finally you do, you know, that great feeling, that sense of fulfillment you get. For me, that's my understanding of the proverb.
Of this proverb.
Yep.
Well, it is. Well, I also have the same kind of understanding when it comes to this proverb, because once you work very hard, you reap the fruit of your labor. And once that is done, you are always fulfilled. I mean, you feel ease when coming home. I mean, knowing that everything is okay. Not even the fuller man and the cattle, but also even the work we do.
Yeah.
When you realize, okay, at the end of the month, I mean, I'm paid my salary and I'm going home, my bank account is okay, I'll just go withdraw from my ATM or I go to the bank. Well, you will feel very happy. But we have Mr. Mboj with us. Let's engage him. Mr. Mboj, what do you make of this?
Oh, you guys are absolutely correct. You know, after a successful endeavor, obviously, then you've got the desired completion, the desired outcome. So you feel that sense of fulfillment. But let's problematize it a bit. Imagine I go out, I really work very hard for something, but somehow it didn't work out. When I go home, how should I feel?
That's disappointment?
Absolutely, but one shouldn't be forlorn. I think really the measure in these things is that, have I put my all This is what I do.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, when I go home, I still feel the sweet milk because I have put my all in it. I think this is all that one can ask for. Nobody can determine outcomes. Nothing is guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So
I agree, Mr. Mboj. You know, life is ups and downs. Today it's good, tomorrow it's another way. It doesn't mean that when you are fulfilled, that's the time you should feel very happy at home. I mean, you should be going home happy. Not all the time. Sometimes situations can vary. Situations can be different. But I believe, I mean, making sure the milk is sweet, I mean, it's also very important. And the only thing that can give you that is hard work. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Without hard work, Mr. Mboj, do you think you can be happy?
I doubt it. I wouldn't say yes or no with certain life experience, certain things. Man is not in a position to be categorical. We can only be in many ways hypothetical. If you want A, B, C, and D, well, you may need to do these things. Absolutely, even though nothing is guaranteed. So for me, I'm to some extent satisfied. Accept, let's put it that way. Accept the fact that, I don't know, in life what I'm saying, effort doesn't always reward you what you want. But how do I deal with that? I think it's important for people to have that kind of mindset. Sometimes, you know, things wouldn't pan out the way I want them to.
Yeah.
But how do I still retain that sense of equanimity? Not to get bitter, not to be disappointed. You never know next time what's going to happen.
Okay, that's very interesting. And we'll go straight and talk to Jennifer Sonko. Currently, he is in Oslo, attending the United, the United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP26. It's the 26th National United Nations Climate Change Conference. It is being held in Glasgow, Scotland, United Kingdom. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Ibrahim Balde. It's really good to be here.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm good. It feels good being outside of the studio, always this morning with you, and today I'm powering.
Exactly. Can you take us through the happening at the conference?
Yeah, so it's been great. Considering the fact that I missed a whole week, I had to catch up, and luckily I was able to witness two events that the Gambian delegation was effectively participating in. One had to do with the front line, and the other one had to do with COP26 high-level discussion on the sea. So we all know that when it comes to NDC, Gambia is shining right now. We have a very, very ambitious NDC. And when we talk about the Great Green Wall as well, we have environmental activists, came parties who's taking the lead. The Great Green Wall does exist, but they're now trying to introduce the Great Green Wall frontline, which is not replacing the activities of the Great Green Wall in any way, but trying to just push for that. He's trying to work on bringing about the people's voices who are not heard, which has to do with women, which has to do with youth, which has to do with children. So luckily, I witnessed these events. And also to give you another update, the minister participated in the ministerial NDC. LDC rather, which is List Developed Nations. And just tell you that finance was on the top of the agenda as the minister is pushing for these countries to fund List Developed countries. Because we have to also remember that these List Developed countries are facing consequences that they did not contribute to. So this is the situation right now. These are the three events that I've witnessed so far. Today, the Vice President will be delivering a statement and looking forward to what she has to say. Like I mentioned, Gambia right now is very respected in COP26, considering the ambitious target that we have on the table.
Exactly. I understand that Gambia is known to be the best when it comes to the Green Wall. What are some of the things that are highlighted by our Gambian reps that needs to be addressed in this conference?
Yes, like I mentioned, Female Bojang is taking the lead when it comes to the Great Indian War, which has already existed. But now they decided to come up with the Great Indian War frontline. That is going to further push some of the objectives that are directed to achieving the Great Indian War initiative. It's not in any way replacing these activities.
Oh,
Well,
okay, so
yes,
yes,
Janaba?
we've
I don't know if she's still.
yes, like we've lost her.
Yeah.
Well, that's Janaba Sonko in Glasgow. I mean, I
Glasgow.
I always it's very difficult for me to pronounce it.
You know,
don't mind me. I'm a Fuller. Now I'll make it very easy. It's going to be Scotland.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
Yes, Janaba, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. As I was saying, Female Party is a leading environmental activist who really leading the great green war frontline. I'm trying to say that the voices of the individuals that matter are not heard. Politicians are coming to top every year and discussing the same things and nothing achieved. So he's saying that another approach should be taken to be able to achieve the objectives that are put in place when it comes to the Great War. Although I have to also highlight that the way that with the already existing objectives, these countries are achieving something already, but it's a bit slow. That is why human colleagues decided to come up with the Great Green War.
Important. Yes, sir?
Janaba, give us a sense of the city. I mean, the size and how's the city like?
Yes, to be honest, Glasgow is a very, very beautiful city. As you can see, I'm wearing my jacket. I dare not wear this jacket in Gambia. Yes, but it's a good experience so far being here, meeting all the journalists, all the environmental journalists, doing what they do in the respective countries. Because we also have to acknowledge the fact that journalists play a very important role when it comes to climate action, holding leaders accountable. Transparency and accountability is important. And that was part of the thing that we discussed at the Ministry of LGBT yesterday. Accountability and transparency, and the media plays a great role in relation to us achieving that.
Yeah, Mr. Boyd.
so-
Well, that's Janaba Sonko for you.
Any questions, Janaba?
Absolutely. Well, we saw the images. You and Peter Okwacha, there was Obama there. Did he have any time to meet these people and perhaps to go selfie with them?
Yes, I had a picture with Peter Okwacha. I was so excited because, I love Sophie, I love Peter, I watch them a lot. So in relation to Obama, tomorrow, that story will be aired on QTV. I'm already working on it. Obama met young environmental activists and told them that they are the future. They have to make that change. And he's echoing the words of Antonio Guterres. Because he already also talked about the fact that his generation has failed. It's now left to our generation to change the narrative when it comes to the environmental crisis that we're living in. And this is important for African young people. African young people have to take the lead, like I mentioned. Africa is dealing with the consequences of issues that we did not even feel. So, yes, Obama met young people, and tomorrow, inshallah, the story will be aired in relation to these states.
Well, interesting, Janaba. I hope Gambia is going to benefit from this conference and all the knowledge gathered will be utilized. And Janaba, you still...
Before I go,
Yes.
I just want to say that the broadcast on QTV in relation to the COP26 is proudly sponsored by FM Brussels. So we wish to thank FM Brussels for the support for giving me all the support to come from Glasgow to give Gambians first-hand information in relation to what happened here.
Okay, Janaba. You can stay with us. We'll go straight to Momodu Gajaga and we'll get back to you now.
Just for a minute. Okay, there you go.
Yes, hello, Momodu Gajaga.
Yes, Mr. Balde.
Yes, welcome to this morning.
It's a pleasure to be on this platform to talk about sports.
What's going on at the moment?
Well, it's been going very well here in Dubai. The Gambia women's volleyball team is here for a two-week training camp. I've already missed one week, unfortunately. But for the second week, I joined them. And today, this morning, we went to the Al Hussein Sports Complex, which was an indoor volleyball court where they practice. And since they came here, they've been practicing very well and playing international friendly matches with the Dubai-based team and as well as the national team of United Arab Emirates. And it's been fantastic. Enjoyed the bit for the players. Also spoke to the coaches. They said the training came thanks to the sports ambassador of the Gambia, connection, United Arab Emirates sports.
Gajaga, how important is this training to the female national volleyball team?
It's really important because most of the players are inexperienced, they don't have the exposure. So coming to Dubai, using some of the best sports facilities in the world, an indoor volleyball court, is something that Gambia lacks. We usually train on an outdoor court, and the floor is concrete, which is sometimes endangers the safety of the players. Because if the player falls down, you may hurt yourself. So even the nets sometimes are not great enough. But with these facilities here, they will be exposed to volleyball at the international stage, international standard. And I think, in a way, it is also going to boost their morale of how it feels to play against the best, also play in the best facilities around the globe.
Okay, Mamadou Gajaga, you can hold on. Jenaba is on the line, and you can say hi to Jenaba Sonko.
Hello, Jenaba.
Hello, Modu. I am so happy that you're in Dubai and featuring specifically women football, because this is actually something that the attention it needs. It's not given, to women football. We talk about this on a daily basis on the morning on the sports segment. So why do you think it's important that these women are given the opportunity to have this experience? What can it add?
Yes, fantastic. It's going to uplift me and also going to help me in terms of my exposure and understanding how things are done internationally. Yes, I've been reporting in Gambia, I've been to other countries, but it's part of the world in Asia, besides Dubai, or people. Yes, this is my first time here, so I'm seeing life at a different level, completely different from what I'm used to. And it's a new environment. And I'm realizing this moment to make sure that I use every opportunity to explore, to know a lot about sports, reporting internationally and globally. So I think it's fantastic. And I could wish you well in Scotland, Glasgow, and the community states.
Yes, I mean, it's very good to hear, to just give Gambians first-hand information in relation to what is happening here. I keep on repeating this. Competition is very important to the Gambia, considering the fact that our NBC is very, very ambitious. We're standing out among other countries.
How about your picture with Tito Cote?
Interesting. Well, Mamadou Gajaga, I understand Geneva got few things to do, and we'll take a leave of Geneva Sonko in Scotland. I'll say Scotland now, and that's Mamadou Gajaga in Dubai. And Geneva Sonko, thank you very much, and I hope to talk to you again on This Morning. Bye-bye. Well, viewers, you're watching This Morning, and I am Ibrahim Balde. I'm with my colleague, Eso Nyasi, the general, with me in the studio. And of course, I will... Yes, Mamadou Gajaga is still on the line. Gajaga, thank you very much.
What's wrong with you today? You're struggling to say.
It's a pleasure to be here this morning to talk about sports, volleyball besides women's volleyball. I think it's...
Make sure you visit the desert. Make sure you visit the desert before coming back.
I will definitely. Thank you
Yes,
very
thank
much.
you very much, and nice talking to you. And we'll take a short break. After the break, the newspaper review. Next, we'll be back.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back from that short break, and of course, as I mentioned before the break, we'll be going straight to the newspaper review. And Eso Nyasi, is that the Standard newspaper? Please take us through the headlines.
Thank you, Balde. I mean, on the Standard newspaper, we'll go through the headlines quickly. The main, on the front page, it says Melville Roberts sues government for $500,000 US. That's a lot of money. And then you have Gambian leisure boat arrested with cocaine in Senegal. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency says the report is unfounded. GDC says Jammeh's comments against the UDP misinterpreted. Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation moves to tackle communication gaps. General Bojang endorses Barrow. NPP accident death toll rises to 6. Wow. Banki will not appeal rejection. SIS Director General starts field tour. Gambian killed in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the Voice newspaper. Hamad Ba, wrong use of honorable title is a violation of the Constitution. Interesting.
Yeah.
President Barrow writes Parliament urges National Assembly to sit over state matters. And of course, Dr. Cisse urges electorate not to base voting on emotions. UNICEF decries involvement of children in political campaign activities. National Human Rights Commission held historic event on business and human rights in the Gambia. That's what we have on the Voice newspaper. Mr. Mboj, let's start with the Standard newspaper. We've seen Melvin have sued the Gambia government to the ECOWAS court. What do you make of this? They say according to him, they've really tarnished his image, and because of certain allegations, that are put on him.
And in addition, he's saying that they took some jewelry and other very valuable stuff from his house, and he's suing government for that. I think this was when his house was raided by police during the investigations, after he was alleged to have, abused, a couple of women.
Yes, it is his right, of course, to go to court. If you feel that you are wrong, it is your right to go to court. So, yes, he said that he had sat since, he was removed from his position for 2 years. And to him, that was unjustifiable. There was no legal basis for that. There must be this presumption of innocence and all the rest of it. Granted, really, how much can one say about this? What was he accused of? Was he actually charged with rape in absentia?
According to the newspaper, he was removed from his position over allegation of sexual assault.
Yes. And I think he was even charged, I think,
Yes.
in absentia of that. So we will see what will be the outcome of this case. I'm surprised that he hasn't done it here, because it appears to us the judiciary seemed to be independent. I wonder why he didn't have the confidence to use our judiciary here.
Yeah.
So he's sort of made allegations himself, because everything we've seen in the paper is simply allegations. We do not know yet. He's going to court, so we will test them. So we must be very careful what we say about this. But I'm surprised that he hasn't used our courts. It will be interesting to know from him why he hasn't done so in this courts.
In this courts. And he requested $500,000 US, Mr. Mboj.
That's what they tend to do. That's what, about what, 26 million? Something like $26 million, say. Yes, you know that when people go for this sort of litigation, you know, and they want compensation, they tend to put it so high. You know, if you're going to win anything, possibly the court would reduce it. But yes, fine. I mean, according to him, he has calculated his losses.
Can we call it he aim at the sky? At least when he's falling, he's going to fall maybe on the roof.
If it pleases you, Balde.
I remember.
Yes. So we'll just have to wait. It's quite interesting with all the allegations that had been leveled against him, and then the way he was removed. It will be interesting to see an adjudicating body go into the details to tell us the rights and wrongs of. The parties, yeah.
Before today, I think for the past months and weeks, we haven't heard really much about his case. You know, it seemed to be, you know, it seems the public interest that it attracted at the beginning, it's beginning to lose it. And I don't know what have been the outcome of, you know, the investigations that were going on as well. You know, we haven't really had much, you know, when it comes to his case. I understand he was in town at some point, and since then, we haven't had much really, but it would really be interesting to see, you know, how things would pan out.
Absolutely.
And, for me, I think I also thought at the beginning when I saw this, I'm like, I think he could have also made use of our courts here. Why the ECOWAS court? Maybe he does not have confidence, so much confidence in our system here.
Yeah. But test it. I mean, when you say you don't have the confidence, you haven't tested anything, it seems to me one is perhaps assuming. Maybe he knows one or two things that we do not know. But before I can conclusively say that our courts are this or that, test it. Go through it and then demonstrate. Let us demonstrate.
Well, don't you think he have his own reason of moving straight to the ECOWAS courts instead of our own courts here?
I understand he made a post on his Facebook some time back saying that the former Solicitor General did make a public statement that the police investigations alone cannot determine, you know, his fate or what will be the outcome of, you know, the allegations on him. So, because of that statement, he thought he would rather have the ECOWAS court, you know, use the ECOWAS court rather than our judiciary. I don't know.
Here.
Well, but the police. That's one thing, the judiciary quite another. I'm not sure why one is making that link, unless one thinks that perhaps there's a political influence behind the scenes and the institutions are so corrupt that they're liaising to sort of to do him in. So I'm not really sure.
When you look at the situation, it's like he's not comfortable using our judiciary here. Might be the reason why he went straight to the ECOWAS courts. Well, let's wait and see what will be the outcome.
Why not?
Yes, that's the big question here.
You cannot tell me the police did this, therefore I distrust the judiciary. I'm not sure that there's any logic linking one to the other, unless you want to go beyond that.
I think for him it's about the statement that was made by the Solicitor General. Either ways, you know, Melville is, I mean, we're talking about someone who was a permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, one of the most important ministries. You know, it's you know.
Oh, absolutely.
No wonder it attracted that much
public attention. I mean,
but let's see how, you know, we can't.
Let's see the outcome anyway. As far as it's in the hands of
the ultimate see the opposition in the Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Exactly.
You know, Oxford graduate, did his master's, I think, with Oxford. So highly intelligent man. There's no denying that.
Okay, let's take a look at Gambian laser boat arrested with cocaine in Senegal.
They're saying the report is not true.
Well, our drug law enforcement agency are denying. They said this is a false allegation, Mr. Mboj.
Yes, and they said something else, whatever mischievous. They called him mischievous and stuff. Pap Alinyang has made specific allegations. Yeah. Now, we want the drug law enforcement agency to tackle each one of them, and if we're going to, you know, to debunk, this is really where debunking would be appropriate, to debunk each one of them. They have denied it Pap Ali has made these. But they're saying that Pap Ali is mischievous. But I'm wondering why. Has he had a history of mischief? I wonder. As far as I'm aware, he's a reputable journalist in Senegal. Perhaps there are certain things that I'm missing. He has made certain allegations. We don't know whether they're true or not. But I suspect that I need much more from the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for me really to take it. Right now, all I've got is just one assertion versus another. But at least the other one has been trying to give certain narratives. You know, this boat, leisure boat, even the painting, changing the paint, Turkish involved, all sorts of, they're giving details, all sorts of people involved, isn't it? And then in the end, he said there were some who left, and then that was when the two Senegalese came in. Perhaps that was where he got his tip off. So he has made specific allegations. So it is up to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Well, you take each one of them and, you know, show me why it's wrong.
Well, I don't think it's professional for such to happen. A country saying yes and another country saying no. In this case, but let's see.
What do you mean, one country, another country? I'm not sure whether it's about this.
At the moment, you know, we have our drug law enforcement agencies denying this case.
Yeah, that's a particular institution.
That's
not necessarily the government. Be careful what you're saying.
That's an institution.
All right.
Yes, that's right. Well, I think this institution with the Senegalese institution should work together.
Yes, ideally, that's what we want, of course. Nobody's saying no to that. How can anybody say no to that? However, here we're talking about the specific allegations from Pap Alanyang and what the Drug Law Enforcement Agency said, their response to it. So let's just be specific to this. But the larger, bigger picture, that the institutions should be liaising, should be working closer. Obviously, how can we not, given our geography, we are condemned to work closely with Senegal, whether we like it or not.
Okay, let's take a look at the Banki will not appeal rejection. We've seen many parties that are rejected claim that they will send their appeal to the IEC to look at it. But for Banki, he said he will not file any appeal.
Well, he is not aggrieved. He's just being honest with the circumstances, with the reality. And perhaps that's the honorable thing to do. So the people who want to go and appeal, well, perhaps they think that they have reason to appeal. Maybe they feel hard done by. It's their right to go and appeal. But it seems to me that Banki is just very realistic with himself.
Mr. Mboy, when you look at the election, most of these parties rejected. The nominations were rejected because they could not comply with Section 24 of the Electoral Act. That is maybe getting a particular number of voters, you know,
need at least 200.
The greater Banjul area. Why are parties not concentrating when it comes to getting these voters from that region?
What makes you think they are not concentrating?
Well, if
maybe
they're
just not popular.
Well,
they just can't get it.
Because, I mean, obviously, if you go to the IEC, these are the things that they'll ask you. Those are part of their requirements. But why do you have to file in your nomination and all your documents without getting that?
You know, I think what most of these aspirants and their parties or followers fail to understand is you may get someone to register with you, I mean their valid voter's card, but you look at the date when it was done. Let's say, for instance, I am an aspirant and you are an aspirant. I happen to be in Banjul before you, and then I get Mr. Mboy's voter's card, because if you look at the form, the date is indicated when, I mean, it was registered. So if, let's say, for instance, I get Mr. Mboy's voter's card, let's say by on the 1st, and then you come in on the 6th, he gives you his as well. You know, it's politics time. He gives you his voter's card as well, and you have it registered on the 6th. If we both send it to the IEC, they will look at who registered first. If mine says 1st and yours says 6th, mine would be accepted. So it would appear as if maybe it's either yours is forged or, you know.
Well,
but
I wonder
if they knew that.
Well,
before the thing itself. So it is
that-
important
yes.
that they knew that
Exactly.
before they started
Yes,
getting these
because
voters'
these things,
cards.
they happen. I mean, people carry your voter's card anyhow. I mean, if Mr. Mboy comes and, I mean, I'll give him my voter's card. And if SO comes, the same thing. So I think
you have people doing that.
maybe next time we should find a way of doing these things to make sure such things don't happen.
Yeah, but for those that really, in all honesty, have not been able to secure enough voters' card. I mean, the rule says what? At least 200. For me, I think you have yourself to blame, because, I mean, you look at all these candidates. Let me give you an example. Isafal, he declared his intention to run, what, 3 months ago? Yeah, barely 3 months ago. But he's been able to secure it. You look at some of these people, they declared their intention to run from January, some in fact from last year. So for me, I mean, if they had done their homework, if they had prepared well, I think they should be able to. And I've seen, I know it's politics, it's kind of a tactical game that some of the big wigs would play. You know, you're required to produce at least 200, and then you get what, 10,000. Let's say Banjul has a registered, you know, number of voters of what, 20,000, and then you get 10,000. So you're leaving about what, 10,000 with all these other aspirants to fight for. It's, you know, it's just politics anyway.
Then this is also let's be honest, this is a measure of their popularity.
Yeah.
I mean, suddenly you have this proliferation of not just partisan candidates. I mean, to be president, let's be honest, it's extremely difficult. I remember discussing this thing with Ade on the Weekend Review. I mean, some people sort of felt that 5,000, oh my God, that's a lot. That's difficult. I said, actually, I like it that way. And 200 from each administrative area. We know the difficulty in the logistics of getting that.
Yeah.
But you want to be president. Now, this is a facer, this is a puzzle, solve it.
Exactly.
Let me see how your problem-solving skills, as it were, because that's really what we need in the number one Marina Parade.
Well, I know that will be very difficult for most party leaders. Let's take a look at General Bojang. He endorses Barrow. It's like recently many political parties are now connecting to the NPP.
Oh, General Bojang, wasn't he also rejected?
Yes.
Was
Yes,
it the
he
one
was.
also I'm rejected? I mean, I have a feeling that if I were Barrow, I would ask him, okay, so what would you bring to the table? You don't have followers. No, but here I'm just being mischievous.
Yeah.
I hope they wouldn't call me Pap Alinyang. Yes, I mean, consider it. All of them, and I've heard also Marisol rejected. Haven't they gone to Barrow as well? Yeah. Oh, I've heard stuff like that. Of course, Barrow would be quite attractive to many people right now. You know, people who really cannot stand on their own, so you have to hang on to somebody else's coattails.
Yeah, he's the incumbent.
That's really what we're having right now. He's the incumbent. I mean, you know, so that's all it is. I've heard some people call it opportunistic, but you just never know.
Well, what about if it looks like that?
Well, if it walks like a cat.
If it looks like that, what are we going to say?
Something else.
I mean,
Like a
because
cat,
we have seen...
then maybe it's a cat. I don't know.
We have seen presidential aspirants who came to the nomination ground, and after a few days, I mean, we've seen them joining NPP. I mean,
absolutely. So too many no surprises there. I remember we discussed this with Ade as well on the Weekend Review when you had what 23, 26, you know, people, candidates who had expressed interest. Then we analyzed and we look at historically. We said perhaps in the end you'll get 5 or 6. And that's exactly what happened. You know, when you look at the criteria, quite tough. Some of them admittedly tougher than the others, but really quite tough to fulfill each one of them when you were just new, you haven't had that penetration, as it were. Perhaps even your understanding of politics, how deep is it? So there are just so many ifs. You know, we were talking about these things, but now, you know, experience, life has really shown that perhaps some of these people were quite naive in thinking that they could hack it.
yes, and Mr. Mboy, the surprising thing is that most people, I've listened to their nomination speech, I mean, at the IEC grounds. Most of them said they can run the country better and they can do this, they can do that. Now, some of them are with Barrow. Is it that now they will try to show Barrow the direction, maybe the ideas they have, I mean, in running this country.
You know, so somebody once said that the privilege, the wonderful thing about being so-called in opposition is that you don't need to move anything but your lips. I can do this. I can come and say, hey, look, I can be the king of the world. And look at you. What does it mean? I'm just making assertions. What have you done in the past to show me that you can be a president? A good predictor of future behavior is past behavior. It's extraordinarily difficult. Just running my house. 2 kids and a wife, that's so difficult, let alone...
And I think this comes down to what Mr. Mboj said earlier about what are you bringing to the table. So if, I mean, you think something isn't going right and then you complain about it and then you give promises that I think I know how to solve these things. Okay, now that I have been in charge, you've joined my camp, what are you bringing to the table? Are you going to share with me, you know, what you have in store?
Well, I think, and we will go much more beyond promises.
Yes.
I'll give you a blueprint to show you that I have actually done my homework. I'll give you the details. Before I come before the public, the electorate, people telling them I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. First, I need to do my homework. What precisely is wrong? What is my solution? And I have to provide details, including how am I going to finance it?
Well, Mr. Mboj, we definitely have to start asking questions. Very important. How are you going to do this? I want to develop this. I want to move this country. But how are you going to do it? It's easy to say. Words of mouth is very easy. Thank you very much, Mr. Momodu Mboj, for joining us on this program. And we'll take a short break, and we have the Gambia Press Union President with us, Momodu Esba, and of course, media ethics and responsible reporting in these elections. As you know, 4th December is just at the corner, less than a month now. And I'll be very happy to have Momodu S here. Most people don't know, he was my colleague at Radio 1. So we'll be back after the break.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now you can buy cash power with your QMoney account free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free. Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services QMoney has to offer. With QMoney, life is easy. Visit your nearest QMoney agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
QMoney, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your QMoney wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your QMoney wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using QMoney Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. And of course, you are reminded this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and filters. They're located at the Sukuta traffic lights. It's very important for you to go get it. So, One Stop Water Solutions, they are #1 in the Gambia.
Well, you need clean water. You want to have your borehole fixed, you know, I mean, a very good dispenser. Anything that has to do with clean, good water.
Yes, and you know, clean water is a source of life. It's very important for us to get clean water.
Absolutely.
Well, it's good for your health also. And as I mentioned on social issues, we'll be having Mohammed S. Bah, the president of the Gambia Press Union. As you know, December 4th is here, and the media plays a crucial role when it comes to reporting elections. People are sitting at home, and all they'll need is information, relevant information, and that's why we find it necessary to invite the president of the Gambia Press Union to come join us on this program. MS, you are welcome on this morning. Good to see you again, and congratulations. I could not congratulate you earlier.
Yes, thank you so much, comrades.
Yes.
It's good having me here.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So, as you know, the election is here. The media is very important, and they play a very significant role when it comes to reporting elections. Let's talk about reporting ethics.
Yeah, thank you so much. As you said, you know, there could not be a credible election without the presence of the media. Media ensure free, fair, transparent elections. And it is important to note that not everyone will access, you know, authorities like the electoral bodies, and also the information with regards to voter information, which is very key, and voter education. This is where the media comes to play, like ensuring that people have undiluted information with regards to voter information. That is how the election is going to take place, is going to, you know, be conducted, you know, what are the timelines, what are the campaign period, the nomination, among other things, and some of the do's and the don'ts. That's the basic electoral laws that are expected to, or voters are expected to adhere to, as well as some of the processes that should be respected by the electoral management body, like making sure that they gazette as per the law. So the media should be ensuring that they follow the track, and in ensuring that, you know, people understand whether the EMBs or the EMB, which is the IEC, is making sure that everything is put in place as per the law. And another thing is voter education, which is why people should vote, because it's their right. So this is where the media comes into play.
Yes. Okay, that's very important. So, is there any training? I mean, media personnel have they been trained when it comes to election reporting, and of course, certain trainings that are very important to this election? Absolutely.
GPU has been rolling out a lot of training with regards to media. We've seen a lot of partners that are also conducting training in partnership with the Gambia Press Union with regards to election reporting. You know, election reporting is a specific thematic area which is very key, and then, you know, it's not like a normal. It's no normal reporting, but it has its own complexities, and because it has to deal with laws, it has to deal with, you know, issues with regards to, you know, policies and then programs that are embedded in the electoral processes. So we've done a lot of training. Even, you know, recently we've trained more than 100 and something media practitioners on election reporting, which is very key. It's not only the training, we also try to provide, you know, jackets, you know, for the safety of journalists, and ensure that they also understand the Chano Jalo Code of Ethics, which is the GPU Code of Conduct, the new GPU Code of Conduct, which was named after a veteran journalist. If you look at Part 5, it clearly spelled out how journalists should report on elections, article from 68 to 90 something. It got inspiration from the IEC Code of Ethics with regards to the elections reporting, and looking at also the electoral law, which is the electoral decree. If you look at section 1993, it all entails how media should conduct itself with regards to reporting on elections. So very clear, and I'm urging journalists to ensure that they get the copy from the GPU. It is free. Just go there, make sure you get the copy, and then familiarize yourself.
Yeah. Well. So you mentioned safety of journalists. You mentioned the GPU Code of Ethics and the General Jallo Revised Charter as well. Campaign starts today. At the level of the GPU, what is the message for journalists and even for aspiring candidates and their followers as well? We know in the past journalists have had to deal with a lot of harassment and all of that.
Yes, the message is for journalists to, one, be professional. We don't want journalists to be impartial, to be biased rather. We want them to be impartial. That is what should continue. And journalists should also understand safety tips before you go. What should you gauge? What are the risks involved? What are some of the things? How are you going to mitigate those risks? I think it's important. And journalists to work in solidarity. Wherever we are, if you see your colleagues, try first to engage your colleagues, to understand the situation, and then assess it, and then whenever there is trouble, how you can go out from that trouble. We also respect the various stakeholders, which is the security. I think we have to respect the security, and then also the security should respect the work of the journalists as well, and political supporters. Just on Sunday, we had a dinner, a GPU had a dinner with political parties to discuss around the campaign and on safety of journalists, so which is very key. We also had an engagement with the security to discuss around the safety of journalists. So this time we want at least the election to go peacefully without even a single harassment. We've seen the nomination. Yeah. It was perfect. Yeah. We want
I think it's the best we've had so far.
It is. Yes, absolutely, it was the best. It was the best. Absolutely, this is what we want to continue. But journalists also have a responsibility. They should ensure that they report the facts. They make sure that you don't just want to break the news like that without fact checking. Sometimes it brings problem. I think it's important that journalists take the responsibility.
Yes, I quote on Sunyu Gale when they invited you, I think the very day of your election, you mentioned how journalists should be able to identify themselves, especially when they're in a crowded place. Sometimes it's difficult. Security will just come and pack journalists and take them along with people without knowing this guy is a journalist. Are you putting that into consideration? Engaging journalists when it comes to that?
Yeah, absolutely. That is why the press jacket, we have 100 free press jackets. The press jacket is so expensive, and GPU is giving it almost on free basis. We're giving out 100, so which is very key. And also trying to educate the journalists. If you've been following my Facebook, my timeline and journalist platform, various platforms, I've been sending safety tips because myself, I'm a safety trainer. I have gone through certain trainings, and I've also helped journalists to understand the safety aspect, because this is what was lacking. Journalists, we do things that are even detrimental to our own safety. Sometimes when you come and then you go have confrontation with security, which is very dangerous. Sometimes with party supporters, you see journalists having confrontation, so sometimes it brings situation. So the identification one is to ensure that you have the cards, which is your press card and the accreditation card. It makes you like everyone will know he's a journalist, he or she, and then you also put on your jacket. You make sure when you're going for coverage, you don't dress like a party supporter, avoiding party colors. There was a journalist during the nomination. He was dressing like a PIU officer. So in the case there was a problem, I even approached the journalist and told him that, boy, what you're doing is not safe. You are not a security.
Actually, I did the same.
Exactly. You understand? So it's dangerous. Don't identify yourself as a security. Don't identify yourself as a party militant or supporter. It's very dangerous. Dress like a journalist, or dress, you know, in a very comfortable way, and then make sure that you put on shoes that can easily, that cannot impede your movement. Like I've seen journalists putting on high heels.
When it is time to run, you can run.
Yeah, you can run, absolutely.
Talking about dress code.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, campaigns, there's a very sensitive period.
Absolutely.
I know at the level of the GPU, you're trying to ensure that, you know, they get all the necessary, you know, jackets and all of those equipment they may need. But at the level of, I mean, I'm talking about the media chiefs here and the various media houses that, I mean, some of our colleagues also work for. Are you also engaging these media chiefs to ensure that they provide their staff, their reporters, with gadgets and
maybe at individual level and stuff. This is where we really want to strengthen what we want to strengthen, because we've done an assessment. I was part of those that did even the assessment on safety. You know, how media houses are responding to safety of journalists, which was a very good assessment. You know, probably even the media chiefs, they are not even conscious of the safety aspect of it. You will go to a media house, you don't have health insurance, you don't have exit you know, routes, you don't even have probably jackets, you don't even have extinguishers, you don't have a policy that will guide you, like that will guide your probably employees if they are going for coverage. Every media house should have a safety policy guide. Absolutely. Like before you go, assess the situation, know the story. Sometimes they will just call you and say, hey, Balde, there's a story over there. You don't even know the head and the tail. You don't even know the situation. You don't know the organizers. You don't know anything about the story. You just go in the middle of the story, you start reporting. And then that's so dangerous. I think we should start thinking around the risk involved.
There is something that I've realized. I think the Gambia Press Union should address that. I mean, we have a lot of journalists now. I mean, I know people have asked this question, and I'll also ask the same. We have a lot of them, and these people are not registered under the Gambia Press Union. So, if at all there is an issue, is the Gambia Press Union going to stand for this journalists?
Yeah,
That's important.
Yeah, we have to understand the core mandate of the GPU, which is standing for press freedom and the independence of the press. Anything that impedes that, we are going to stand against that. Like, we don't want anything to impede. Even if you are not a registered member of the GPU, if you have a problem related to your work and anything that will jeopardize press freedom and independence of press, we have to stand by you. But given the fact that GPU has a policy now, a membership benefit policy, we've been supporting a lot of journalists, like from litigation and stuff. In the past, we've spent a lot of hundreds of thousands of dollars just to pay lawyers. So now, you know, what is the essence that you are not a member, you don't want to associate with the GPU, but anytime you have a problem, you come to the GPU. I think journalists also should have that kind of commitment. And it will be also easy to institutionalize the media fraternity itself, have a database, a proper database. Like, for instance, we will know, okay, QTV, Balde is working there, SO is working there, you know. So this will help. Whenever there is a problem, you don't need to start searching, okay, who is SO, where is he, and where is he working. So I think this is very important. People should register with the GPU. We have a membership benefit policy. Now we are prioritizing with our members whosoever is able. Yeah, absolutely.
I have to go pick up
yes,
the phone.
if you have to be
registered,
a paid up member, you know, to ensure that some of these benefits, it will not be fair if you are not a member and others who are paying their dues, which is just $600 per year. That is even that is just 0.0000% of the GP. Even one of our operational, I can say, it cannot even pay our staff for the whole year. So, I think the commitment should be there, and then everyone should be registered with the GPU to ensure that, at least the fraternity is like big, and then we ensure that whenever there is a problem, we can respond.
Okay, we are almost, time is against us. As president of the Gambia Press Union, what advice do you have for journalists out there?
Yes, as I said, one, to respect, to know the ethics first. Familiarize yourself with the laws, the electoral laws. Is there the election decree in 1996? Familiarize yourself with the Chano-Jallow Code of Ethics, which media houses can even customize and then even give it to their reporters, just to be their Bible or Quran wherever they go. Because if you follow those ethics, it will help you. And then the other thing is to dress in a way that people will identify you as a journalist, not as a security personnel or a supporter of a certain political party, which can put you in danger. And also minimize harm. Media should minimize harm. Do not allow politicians or any other person to use your platform to spit hate speech. Because we've seen this election is highly contested. I think it's one of the highest, 2021 will be one of the highly contested elections. We have 6 candidates. Imagine 15 candidates were rejected by the IEC, and then people are now trying to associate themselves with other candidates as well. So this is a very highly contested